Every year, we celebrate our heroes, those who have died for our country, those who have served us faithfully, and those who continue to protect us today. But why November 11th? That date marked the anniversary of the end of World War I, which ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. In 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as Armistice Day, and 2 years later, the first unknown soldier was buried at Arlington National Cemetery. In 1954, President Eisenhower signed legislation changing Armistice to Veterans Day and proclaimed it a day to honor veterans of all wars. Every year since 1921, services have been held on November 11th at 11 a.m. at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia. Recently, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Colonel Jackson, the Grand Marshal of this year's Veterans Day Parade. Colonel Jackson is the commander of the 60th Air Mobility Wing at Travis Air Force Base. Although Colonel Jackson's father served, he didn't go into the service just because of that. He started out with quite a different plan.
When I was in high school, I was an engineering intern, and so all summer I worked there and I looked at the engineers because I thought I wanted to be an engineer. And I looked around at how happy they seemed to be, and I said to myself, I don't think I want to do that for my whole life. I think I want to do something a little more exciting, something that's a little more, just adventuresome.
As of 2014, there are 21.8 million veterans in the United States Armed Forces. California is home to 2 million of those veterans, and approximately 40,000 veterans live here in Solano County. Additionally, there are about 10,000 to 15,000 veterans at Travis Air Force Base. Since 1973, our nation has had an all-volunteer military. Only 1% of the U.S. population serves in our armed forces at any given time. Approximately 25% of those who do serve make it a career. So why do people make that decision to join the military? From the perspective of a veteran, Colonel Jackson was able to offer a deeper insight into this question.
The first thing I would say is decide why you want to join, because if you don't know why you're joining, you might not get out of it what you are looking for. And then once you decide why you are joining, then join and have a purpose. Then just jump into it. You want to become a medical technician, then just be the best medical technician you can be. You want your GI benefits, well, come in and get as much education and career advancement you can get while you're in, and then but start saving money and having a plan to what you're going to do when you can get out so you can use those GI Bill benefits.
Current statistics show 98% of enlisted personnel possess a high school diploma, while 11% have college credit or a bachelor's degree. Today, the military is more educated than it was before 1973 when the draft ended.
What has been the best or most rewarding part of your job?
The best part about the job I'm in right now is seeing all those airmen, all those folks who decided to join the service, quite frankly, because it's their enthusiasm and their drive and their ingenuity and innovation that I get to see every single day as I go around this base. The thing about being at the wing is I get to look across all of it and see it all come together. So that's really rewarding. When I see an airplane flying around the base, to know everything that went in to getting that airplane airborne and all the airmen that I see on a daily basis that play into that mission. And that's exciting.
In his 23 years, Colonel Jackson has accrued more than 4,300 tanker flight hours as a command pilot. He has flown combat and combat support missions during Operation Southern Watch, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom, and has served in a variety of positions at the squadron, group, and wing levels.
I've gone further and done more in my career than I ever thought I would do. So I'm content in everything I've done in my career, but I've got to where I am. I hope and I think just by taking every day one day at a time and coming to work and trying to do my best today, and then coming in tomorrow and trying to do my best tomorrow, and coming in the next day and try to do my best that day. There's too many people, too many times, keep looking towards the next phase in life instead of enjoying the current phase in life. So the only thing I want to accomplish is, have a better today and then have a good tomorrow, and keep doing that one day at a time.
The Veterans Day Parade started back up in Solano County in 2001 and has been celebrated every year since. While it is Colonel Jackson's fourth assignment in Fairfield, he is no stranger to the parade and has enjoyed watching the parade with his family on several occasions. The Fairfield Main Street Association has always bestowed the honor of Grand Marshal upon the current commander at Travis. This year, Colonel Jackson is no exception.
So it's exciting, one, just to be a Grand Marshal, and two, for it to be in a parade that I attended throughout the years. And then lastly, it's neat just that Fairfield has a Veterans Day parade. So the fact that I get to be a Grand Marshal is less exciting than the fact that there just is a Veterans Day parade. But to have a Veterans Day parade says a lot about Fairfield, I think, as a city and as a community, that they still value the veterans and that it's a big enough deal to have a parade. So to be a part of that is exciting too.
This year, the theme is the land of the free because of the brave, and I asked Colonel Jackson what that means to him.
I think that goes beyond the obvious, right? Because the obvious is, that the veterans for years have served and protected us. But for every brave veteran that went to war, there was a brave family member who stayed behind. Thinking back to World War II, when people were sent overseas, indefinitely. The bravery of Rosie the Riveter to go out of her home where she was comfortable and go out into the workplace where she had never been before, but it needed to be done, and it was the only way we were going to be free is if everybody was brave. Our whole country came together to ration, right? You had to be brave to get by on less, to voluntarily withhold for yourself because your country needed it. So it's more than just the bravery of those who served. I think we're free as a country because of the bravery that everybody did through the years when it was required of them.
Many people are uneducated about the kinds of trauma that our vets suffer from. The number one disability is hearing loss, followed by orthopedic issues, and then post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. According to a 2004 Pentagon study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, many U.S. troops crack under the pressure of combat and its aftershocks.
Veterans are your neighbors. Veterans are your Sunday school teachers. Veterans are the checkout clerk at Nugget. Veterans are people that you interact with. The advantages are as the community gets back someone with maybe a little more discipline, someone who's trained, someone who can contribute to society in lots of other ways. The only downside is sometimes veterans are injured in their service, sometimes physically, and that's obvious to people. You see someone who's been amputated, everybody sees that injury. But often there are mental or psychological injuries that people don't see, and it's not as obvious. As veterans are in our community, we're right next to you. You may not even know that we ever were in the military, and that's fine. We don't require everyone to pat us on the back every single day. We don't serve in our nation because we expect charity or a handout or even a thank you. We do it because we love to do it. But on the other side, when we are injured, we do have disabilities, I want people to understand that some of them are injuries and disabilities that they can't see, and give us a little extra break on that, a little latitude, and help us to take care of the people that were really injured in service of this nation.
With over $126 million of benefits available to the veterans of Solano County, there is help, but many of our veterans are unaware of the services that they may receive. For more information, contact Veterans Services of Solano County at 707-784-6490 or bring your discharge to the office for an evaluation of your benefits. Thank you again to all of those who have served our country so faithfully.